music. Music. Okay, guys, this is our third attempt to go live today. Third attempt. We don't give up around here. We keep plugging it away.
Third attempt is a go.
Third attempt is a go. We had a little bit of sidetrack going there, but hopefully you guys are back with me on here. This is our third attempt. Tell me hi, tell me you love me, tell me you hate me, tell me to go away, tell me something so I know you see me, because I see you and you can hear me. I see you, get that down. Take that out of your mouth. I see you, 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 I see you. All right, where's Robin? Where's Ian? Where's everybody back at now? Let me know you're back on here, guys. All right, third attempt. Tell me if you can see me and hear me and all that good stuff. And we'll keep going. All right, Ian says what? Oh, he joined. Okay. So anyways, let's do this. I'm ready to rock and roll. I got so much to talk about. I want to keep going here. What does Ian say? What does they say? I'm on here.
He says same for me, no video.
No video?
I see you on my phone and on my computer.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the video will begin in a moment, it says on my screen.
Well, Paris says that she can see and hear you.
Paris says she can see and hear me. Paris, what am I doing right now?
Go live.
What am I doing right now?
Robin says keep going.
What am I doing right now?
Nick says he can see and hear you.
All right, good stuff. So listen up. So I was going to start this video all serious, you know, like, we're here today to talk about real estate investing. And real estate investors worldwide need to know about contract clauses. And then I realized I'm really not that serious. I love having fun and I love the knowledge I know, but somebody sent me a message the other day and said, I enjoy watching you, Zach, but you joke around too much. Well, you know what I always say to that is, well, if you don't like having fun in life, then you're probably living a life you don't want to live. Because that's not fun, man. You gotta have fun, man. You gotta lighten the load.
So thankful for that, it's such a blessing, yeah. In every situation that I have, and yeah.
Who cares if you don't like me joking around? I don't care. Because this guy is gonna have fun whether you have it or not. I'm getting ready for my Bahamas trip, you see? Listen, if you want to go to the Bahamas with me, you need to be on these things. You need to be paying attention, because here's why. I got one golden ticket left to my event. One golden ticket left. That's it. This golden ticket will not only get you the top educator in this country to train you, which by the way is me, it'll also get you everything you need to know. And I'll take you on vacation with me, and you could be going to the Bahamas too with me. How about that? I'll see you in Denver. If you're not registered for Denver, I don't know what for. I got one golden ticket left and I got 2 silver tickets left. And listen to this, I only got 8 general admission tickets left. That's it. That's it. Sold out. Sold out. Another sold out event. Watch. It's not a big event. It's Denver. It's not like Charlotte. Charlotte, we had room for a big event. Denver, we don't have room for a big event. We can only get one hotel room and it won't fit 100 and something people in there. So we are limited to space, which means you're limited to your time to get into that event. So anyways, we are talking about some cool stuff today. We're going over contract clauses. I'm pointing at my wall because I write on my wall. We're going over inspection clauses, financial clauses, extension clauses, assignment clauses, leases and security clauses, and who is responsible is what we're going to be talking about today on my Facebook Live with you. And if you still see me out there, just give me some thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know you're with me. Good stuff. I got. Oh, here they come. Yeah. Here they come. Let's see who can hit it the most. Get it, 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 and it come! You know, the more reactions you get on a video, Facebook holds that video with a higher importance than with a lot of views. So the more thumbs up, smiley faces, and hearts means Facebook says, hey, this is a good video, let's show it to people. And you know my biggest thing is don't come just to learn, come to share the information. Let other people know what they need to be doing and how they need to get into it, and maybe they can have fun too. Alright, so let's do this. First off, you guys know that I have Jill in the background. Say hi, Jill.
Hey, hey.
We even got Jill a little desk today. So Jill's got her own little desk back there. She's now sitting in her own little desk and she's staring at me. So I feel like I'm in like the principal's office and I'm in detention. But as usually when I was put in detention, I never stopped talking anyways. So I got more detention. And they would say, well, Zach, why can't you just stop talking? And I said, I got too much to say. Like, what do you mean? You should embrace my ability to want to communicate what's in my head, right? So here's the key today. We are going to do our blog talk radio, so you know how that works. We're going to be talking, sharing, we'll be talking to you guys, talking to blog talk, talking to you, talking to blog talk, talking to you, talking to blog talk. You know how that works. So, but I want you guys to ask questions. Remember, today is about contracts. So if you got any question on a contract, you let me know. I will tell you this. I will answer it if I know the answer. If I don't know the answer, I'm not going to answer it. How about that? Is that a deal? That's a deal. But I've put together thousands of contracts and from all different types of structures. So there's probably not a question you don't ask me that I may not have the answer for. But I encourage you, I challenge you to ask me a question in regards to contracts. I challenge you today. Today is your challenge day. Let's do this. So for those of you that realized last Wednesday, I was having major challenges with Facebook. Again, we tend to have a lot of challenges with Facebook. I was trying to do part 2 of my Steve Jobs Innovation Secrets book review, and we're going to do it tomorrow because it would not work. So, all right, so let's do this. Let's get the blog talk going here, and we will rock and roll. Where we at, Joe?
We are going on air in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, this is Zack Childress. Welcome back to another real estate investing talk show for what's working in today's real estate market with Zack Childress. And today is your day. Welcome back. Happy to have you. Yes, you know how it works. If you listen to any of our past episodes, we are doing a Facebook Live right now. So if you want to join in the fun and you want to have a fun time learning and dancing, then I encourage you to go over to Creative Real Estate Investing and join our Facebook Live. Creative Real Estate Training Academy. Man, I got to get that right one day. That's my partner. He creates these long names. I have to keep up with him. Creative Real Estate Training Academy. Join us on Facebook. Like our page. Share our streams. Listen to what we do. Go over there, ask questions. I'm encouraging you to ask questions because that's how you learn. So if you're riding down the road listening to this, or if you're sitting up late at night listening to this, just join us. Be part of what we do. We do lots of free stuff on Facebook. Every Tuesday we do our real estate investing talk show, which is what you're listening to now. Every Wednesday we do our Dig Deeper book review. Thursdays we send out student success stories. And on Mondays we send out our REI success tips of the week. So today's lesson is to help all of you understand contracts are not that scary. Contracts are not your enemy. Contracts are a beautiful thing. They help us establish who's in control and what are the two parties agreeing upon. But more than anything, they help keep you as a real estate investor safe when it comes to the transaction. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about contract clauses, inspection clauses, financial clauses, extension clauses, assignment clauses, leases and security clauses, and who is responsible for all of the execution of these clauses. And so I want to dig into that today with you guys. I also want to answer questions from Facebook. So I encourage you to join us on Facebook, Creative Real Estate Training Academy, and be part of what we do, be part of the family. And that way you can actually engage and be part of the participation. And if you're listening to me right now and you want to know how in the world can I get more training from Zack Childress, well, I'll tell you like it is. I got an event coming up in Denver, August 18th through the 20th. And that is a very limited event because of the hotel space that we could get. So we are not going to have an event with 200 people in it. We're almost sold out already. I got one VIP gold ticket left. That's all I got. One VIP gold ticket left. And why is that? Because we sold out, but this gentleman had an emergency, and so now we have the ticket back. So it's your lucky day. If you want a gold VIP ticket, you need to call 707-247-4248 and speak to a student advisor about that before it's gone. I'm sure this will be gone this week. The next is I have only 2 silvers left. That's it. 2 silver VIPs left. It's very important that you understand what those are. Now, for those of you that are just trying to get to the event, you better hurry up because I only have 8. You heard me right. 8 general admission tickets left. And I can promise you these tickets will probably all be sold out within the next 2 weeks. If not this week alone. So get engaged, get part of what we do. Call the office, 707-247-4248, or go to freedomfromflipping.com. I'm sure you'll see it in the description above this video. Whether you're watching me now live, or you're watching this later, or you're listening to this today, or you're listening to this tomorrow. So let's jump right in. Contract clauses. What is the power of a contract clause? A contract clause is what allows us to stay in control. It's what allows us to get out of the deal. It's what allows us to gather the information that we want that a seller may not want to provide us unless we go into a contract. So let's talk about the first one real quick. Inspection clauses. What is an inspection clause? Well, listen. I am a fan of inspection clauses all day. You will never see me write an offer that does not have an inspection clause in it. And I know what some of you have been told, oh, well, if you write a contract and you put inspection, contingent on inspection, you won't get the deal. Okay, well, then I don't want the deal. It's pretty cut and dry. I don't want the deal. If I can't inspect it, then how in the world do I know what I'm buying is actually worth what I'm buying and what I'm paying for? Listen, as a new investor, the last thing you want to do is take advice from somebody that tells you don't put a contingency in that contract. Now, as you become more and more seasoned and you're doing 20, 30, 40 houses a year, then you can handle doing that type of leverage. You can handle, if you're in a competitive market, going after a deal and putting a no contingency in there so you get the deal. And the reason I say you can handle it is because if it flops, you're not losing everything you got invested in this deal because you have so many other deals to make profits on. But when you're new, come on, man, keep yourself safe. Listen to your coach over here, Zack Childress. Listen to me when I tell you keep inspections in your clauses. Inspection contingency. Listen, and most of the time it's only going to be 7 to 14 days. But that's fine. It allows you to walk the property and get information that's important to you. That's what it allows you to do. A contingency for inspections is important for you to understand that this is how you know if your deal is a deal. Listen, I could easily put no contingencies and consider an offer of about $30,000, but then they say, oh, no contingency. Well, guess what? Now I'm stuck with it. I'm stuck with it. I gotta find a way to get out of the deal. So what's an easy contingency to write? Don't put in there contingent on my partner's approval. Put in there, contingent on buyer's inspection. Contingent on buyer's inspection, especially if you're a cash buyer. Now listen, If you are a finance buyer, the banks are going to make you get an inspection on the property anyway. So it's going to be contingent on an inspection. If you're buying from a wholesaler, that could be a little bit of a different subject, but you want to see their contract. Did they put a contract with the seller that said contingent on inspections? Here's another very important reason for this. Let me get a sip of water. Let me get serious real quick. You know, I need to be serious sometimes. I was told being serious is important. So let's be serious. You know, I was once told, Zach, you dance horribly, but you know what? To me, it's just fine. I was also told that I don't sing very well, but my kids love it. So who's judging?
Me.
All right.
Me.
Me? You're judging me?
I'm judging your singing voice.
It's okay. If anybody judges me, I think you can judge me, Jill. Jill knows more about me than most people.
Yep.
Who needs a wife when you have Jill?
Nice.
So listen to what I'm telling you. Inspections are important. You gotta have them in there. Don't be overzealous about it, but as a wholesaler, we have to have an inspection contingency. We have to. And we gotta make sure that we're in and out of that deal inside of that inspection contingency, or we lose what's called our escrow deposits. Another clause, oh, I didn't write this on here. Let's put this on here. Let's zoom down to here and say, earnest money deposit. Earnest money deposit contingency. So what is an earnest money deposit contingency? That just simply states that buyer is entitled to all their earnest money deposit back, whether they execute a close or not at any time during the transaction. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. Trust me, it's not my first rodeo. Giddy up now. Is, oh, well, you can't get that through to a bank. Well, I didn't say that, did I? I said contingencies are what we negotiate. I put in contingencies that I want. Do I expect the seller to agree to every one of my contingencies? No, I don't expect them to. But here's the thing. If I'm going to a homeowner, I'm putting in the earnest money deposit contingency that says I get my money back at any time. If I'm going to an agent, they're not going to let me do that, are they? No, let's be realistic about this. Don't always look for a rebuttal, okay? Look for a way to make it work. That's what I'm trying to express to you, okay? So let's go on to number two. Number two, well, actually we're number three because I added one in there. Financial contingency. Oh, did I tell you guys I only got one golden ticket left? That's it. Who sees that? Who wants a golden ticket? If you want a golden ticket, you know what this golden ticket comes with? It comes with recordings from the event. It comes with breakfast with me on Sunday, dinner with me on Saturday, networking party with me on Friday, plus you get coaching with me after the event. So for a simple one golden ticket, somebody could be coached by the coach that everybody wants to be coached by. Who is that? That's me, okay? And I got 2 silver tickets left too, so jump on those, all right? So financial contingency. What is a financial contingency? A financial contingency, most people would think of it as, oh, it's contingent on approval of financing. Well, I look at that as twofold. That we look at the financial contingency is that. It is contingent on financial approval. If you're going to a bank, you got to have that in there. You got to have that in there. If you're paying cash or your buyer says you have to pay cash, you can leverage the financial contingency into the extension contingency, which is the second one that we're talking about. So financial and the extension can be leveraged together. And how does that work? Well, that works like this. I will put in my contract, buyer reserves the rights to extend closing by 14 business days. 14 business days, which gives me really 3 weeks of an extension. And I put in there due to financial reasons only. So what am I saying? I'm saying, look, I want the ability to extend if for some reason I don't have all my money together yet. And what would that reason be? Well, I could be pulling money in from a hard money lender that's taking their time. I could be pulling money in from a private investor that's taking their time. I got a deal right now. It's closing on Monday. I'm gone to the Bahamas until Sunday, okay? So I'm having to get everything together correctly before I leave so that I can make sure that private funds by Monday, so when I get back I can close. Well, I'm getting some pushback that he doesn't think he can close by Monday, right? So the beauty is I just execute what? Line 14, extension clause that states that I can extend for 14 business days due to financial reasons only. So the seller says, what's this? But in that clause, I don't put in there that the buyer has to get approval from the seller. I just say that the buyer has the rights to extend. So there is no approval. I just say, look, I'm executing line 14 on the contract. And they say, well, what's your financial reasons? Well, the money that I'm bringing in isn't going to be in on time. So therefore, I'm safe. He can't pull out of the deal because I breached my contract. So that's why we use that extension clause, okay? And then it's important that you know that. So listen here, for all my Blog Talk Radio listeners, this is Zack Childress. I am going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about assignments, leases, and securities, and who's responsible for all of these clauses. So stay tuned, listen to this commercial break, and we'll be right back. Facebook, what you got for me? What kind of questions have we got? What you got, Facebook? Talk to me.
All right, so Stephanie Griffin, she says, do you ever
Stephanie
hold
Griffin, how do I know that name?
I don't know.
How do I know Stephanie Griffin? Stephanie, how do I know you?
She says, do you ever hold seminars in other states?
Yes, Stephanie, we did one in, was it North or South Carolina?
It was North Carolina.
We did one in North Carolina. We do them in Florida. I have my RIA here in Alabama. I do them monthly. We've done them in Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, Chicago. We've done them all over. So it just depends on really where we're headed the next time. So we're headed to Denver on the 18th. So I would encourage you to go do that. Stephanie Griffin, what is that name?
She's a blonde lady.
That's how I know you. Stephanie Griffin. Why that name seems so familiar to me? That must mean that you're meant to be something great, Stephanie. That's what that means. So
We have Victor. He says he's got 17 Miami Beach condos for sale. I'm stuck finding buyers on contract. I need some way to make some money. How do I begin seeing some success?
success starts with getting properties that are in areas that will sell first off. That's the number one success formula I can give you right now. Just because you bought condos in Miami Beach does not mean that you're going to make money on them. I don't even care if you got them at the best price in the world. If no one's buying there, then you're stuck. Or if everyone is trying to sell there, you're stuck. So the question lies, Victor, is are you in contract to close or contract with the intent to assign, and how much time do you have left? And the other question is what is the real value of those? And don't come back to me and say, oh, well, they're worth $1 million. No, I want to know exactly what other condos in that building with the same beds, bath, and square footage sold for in the last 3 to 4 months. Because Miami is one of those volatile markets like California. If we notice what's going on in California right now. Who remembers in January when I said we have about 18 to 24 months left of this hyper market? Who remembers that? Joe, you remember that, right?
I remember that.
Listen to me. It's already happening in California. Prices are starting to correct itself and come down out there right now. Guys, you gotta listen when I'm telling you. I just want to smack you around sometimes for not listening, okay? So I encourage you to really be aware of this. So if you're in Miami, another volatile market, you can't show me a comp from 6 months ago. It's irrelevant right now. You gotta show me a comp in 3 to 4 months. That's what you gotta show me. You gotta show me the value of that comp. The other thing you gotta show me is what's the HOA on that building? And it's probably insane right now over there. So anyways, those are some tidbits. The other thing is I'd pull a list of buyers that have bought in that building. That's what I would do. Who's bought in this building as a non-owner occupant? That's the key. And see what investors I can flip those to and what price points they're buying at. But I promise you, if you've got the right property in the right area and you're putting it in a cluster zone of buyers, you wouldn't have to worry about getting rid of them. People would be flocking to you. So it goes all the way back to the beginning, right? Are you getting deals in the right cluster zones? You need to be at my Denver event. I'm going to tell you right now, Victor, sounds to me like you need some more training. So be to Denver. What else we got?
Ian was just actually saying to him also that you can sell or finance them, then sell the notes and get his cash out.
Yes, if, that's why I asked the question, Ian, to him, if he actually was executing a close on them or if he was just an assignment. If he's buying them or if he owns them, I agree with you, Ian. You could create a note, and the best person to learn how to create notes from is Ian Flanagan with Hidden Cash Flow Fortunes Formula. You should check him out. He's on here right now because why? Because he's the man. That's why. He's the man. I'm going to be hanging out in the Bahamas with him. Well, that's not true. He said he wanted to go hang out on the beach. So I may not be hanging out with Ian.
The piano bar.
I'm just giving him a hard time. So, what else? What other questions we got?
That's it for right now.
What is the Facebook? What are you doing?
It's okay, because we got to go back on air.
Okay. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, welcome back. Zack Childress here with your real estate investing talk show for what's working in today's market. I am going to keep rolling here. If you just joined us, we just finished up with inspections, financial clauses, and extension clauses, and we talked about your earnest money deposit clause. And so I want to move on into what we have left: assignment clauses, leases and security clauses, and who is responsible. And so that's something that you need to talk about. And I'm going to share a story with you that I had this morning when I was on a coaching call with 2 amazing students that are doing extremely well. And if anybody had excuses of why this wouldn't work for them, it would be these 2, but they don't let excuses control them. They keep getting up every day. They're in their 70s and they are kicking you youngsters' rear ends because why? They own it. They own it. They're digging deeper in their life. That's what they're doing. They're digging deeper. They're changing the process in which they live. That's why it's important. So let's talk about an assignment clause. So people always say, well, Zach, is assigning contracts legal? Absolutely it is. Go study contract law. All contracts are fully assignable unless otherwise stated not. Now, where people want to know is what's the intent? What's the intent, right? Because if you're going in with the intent, then, it's all based around intent. So your intent always needs to be to find a great deal, put it under contract, and see if you can't execute the funds to close on it and resell it, to close on it and rehab it, to close on it and rent it. If you can't find the funds, instead of letting the property go, then let's execute our assignment contract to get rid of this deal. So what's a clause that you need to have in your contract for assignments? Listen up. Buyer reserves the rights to take title in name or entity of choice. That's what it is. It basically says, hey, I can close on this deal in my name or someone else's name or in the entity I want at time of closing. And that is a clause that we use with for sale by owners. Now with agents, it could be a little different, right? It could be a little more challenging. Now, can you wholesale with agents? Yes, I've done it. Can you wholesale with banks? About a 1%, maybe a 0.5% chance. I've done it with Deutsche Bank. I put it in the contract on my addendum, which we all know addendums supersede any contract. And in my addendum, I wrote, buyer reserves the rights to take title in name or entity of choice, and they accepted it. And so I was able to assign that deal. Now, I'm not saying that you'll be able to do that regularly because it's not easy to do, and it slipped through, and that's how I got lucky to do it. So, but in contracts, you want to put in there, buyer reserves the rights to take title in name or entity of choice. Let me say this, even when I have found the funds to close on a property, I still put that clause in there. Why? Here's why. Because if I'm going to go get money to buy that house, fix it up and sell it, and let's say that I'm only going to make let's say I'm only going to make $15,000 on that deal. And it's going to take me 3 months to fix it up and sell it. But I got somebody over here that's willing to buy it from me right now with an assignment fee of $15,000, then am I going to hold it for 3 months or am I just going to sell the contract? I'm going to sell the contract. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to execute my clause for my assignable rights in that contract to the new buyer so that I can get out and get my money and move on. Remember, the money in hand right now is way more valuable than the money in my hand 3 months from now, because that just means I can now start to move that money in the market a lot faster than sitting around and twiddling my thumbs waiting on 3 months for the right buyer to come along, okay? So just know that when you're dealing with contracts as an assignment clause. Now, I want to talk about another one real quick. This is important. This is about your lease and security deposit clauses. So anytime that you're out there buying a rental property or any type of apartment with cash flow that has tenants that have leases and have put security deposits down, you have to make sure you have a clause in your contract that states that the buyer or the seller must turn over all leases and all security deposits need to be transferred to the new buyer at time of close. It's a very important clause because we need those leases, and we also need an assignable rights to the lease. So the seller needs to assign his rights from all those leases in his company to the new buying company. So now you have the legal rights to those leases. If they do not do that, then now you have a tenant with no lease. Now let me tell you what's wrong with that. There is no eviction that can be done, right? Because you evict on non-performance of lease. And when there's no lease, there's no non-performance of that lease. So now you get into what's called squatter rights. So now they are squatting the property. And if you get a tenant that understands contract law and their rights as a tenant, they could enforce these and really hold you and stick you in the mud on this stuff. So we need those leases, okay? The second thing is transfer of security deposits, because here's why. If that tenant moves out and you didn't get the security deposits from the original seller, and they leave that property in good condition, you now got to pay that no matter what. You can't say, oh, well, I didn't get the money from the seller. Then that's not how it works. You're now the owner. You've now taken possession, and you are now entitled to pay that money back to them if the property does not need work. So it's important. And here's the other thing. It has to be in the contract that you get these before closing. It has to be in there. You can't just assume they're going to do this. It has to be in there, and they have to send you that check at closing to do this, unless there's property management in place. If there's property management in place, then the management company is holding those security deposits, and the management company has the leases. So in that case, I would just ask that the seller show me a financial report and copies of the leases from the management company showing that they have those money in an account on my behalf for my tenants. And so that's important that you understand those clauses. Those clauses are very important. Assignment clause, so that you can sell that contract at time of need. Because remember, the intent is always to make the most money possible in the fastest time possible. So if our intent is to find deals, fix them up, resell them, or rent them, and we're going to make money on them, that's great. But at any time, I could still be marketing for a buyer. And if that buyer comes up and says, I'll take it for 15 grand, and it is what I was going to make on it anyways, I'm out. I'm assigning my rights to that contract to that new buyer. Leases, we have to have leases transferred over, and the assignment of leases, and security deposits we need to get. It's very important that we understand that. These two are very, very important, okay, in your contracts. So, with that said, I'm going to take a quick break for the Read Blog Talk Radio. Take a break, go to the bathroom, get yourself some water, listen to this commercial break, and we will be right back. And we're going to talk about who is responsible for these clauses and who's responsible to enforce them and what is your role in these clauses. So we'll be right back. Facebook, what else you got for me? Anybody pop in? You guys all sitting back, eating your lunch break, not communicating with me?
Yeah.
What?
Nobody is actively present today.
No one is actively present. No one is actively present. No one is actively present. That is a daggum shame that you guys aren't being actively present.
It is, because those students that you were talking about earlier,
Yep.
they are not letting any health concerns even stand
Oh,
in the
no.
way. I wanted to.
One of them had a stroke.
A mini stroke. Yeah.
Had a mini stroke, and he was like, "Well, don't count me out, Zach. I just need some rest. I'm back in it again." Listen, they're executing a deal right now with a 30% cash on cash return. They took my advice and started going and talking to property management companies. They just executed one property management company that's going to bring them a 6 unit that's probably going to have 30+% return on it. They found another property management company that turned them onto a landlord that's got a whole portfolio that lives out of New York that doesn't want it anymore. He's wanting to sell them all. I mean, guys, that's what it's about. You got to get the coach, man. You got to get the coach. You got to get the coach and get away from the gurus. Get away from the gurus and get your coach. You got to get your coach. You got to get a coach. And here's the other thing. You need to get somebody that's actually helping people become successful. That's what you need to get, because that's what it's about. Oh, Puerto Rico! I really want to go to Puerto Rico. Has anybody ever been to Puerto Rico?
I think that should be the next financial freedom cruise.
Financial Freedom Cruise. Look at these lovely shirts Jill made for all my Financial Freedom Cruise members. We're all gonna be matchy. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. Financial Freedom Cruise. See that? 2017. GetMy100K.com. Hopefully that website's working right now.
It is.
Oh, it is. Okay. You can go there if you want. GetYour100K.com. No, GetMy100K.com. So imagine how many people are going to see that walking around. They're going to be like, how do I get my 100,000? How do I get my 100,000? How do I get my 100,000? So I think that's a good one. So what did Ian say? I saw him write something.
Yeah, when you were getting on with them, and he said, Zach's the man. And then when you said, I'm not going to be hanging out with Ian on the beach, he said, whatever.
Whatever. You sound like a bad girlfriend, man. Whatever. Don't worry about him. I got you, man. I see where your love's at. I got you. I'm with you, man. It don't matter. Listen, I will have fun by myself. I promise that.
You're not going by yourself, though.
I know. I got 35 people on this cruise with me this year. 35 of them. And I'm just saying, I have fun by myself. Because you know what? I've never met a stranger. But you sit me in a room, I'm going to make some friends. So,
Stranger never met you.
stranger has never met me. That's a good way of saying that. So, you guys don't have any question on contracts today, except Victor laid out a good one.
He did.
So,
He was actively present.
actively present.
He should get a book.
He should get a book. Victor, do you have one of my books? Do you have one of my books, Victor? My new book, My First Deal Playbook. Let me know if you got that book, Victor. Let me know if you got that book, Victor. Tell me if you got that book, Victor. I wish you could talk to me right now, Victor. Let me know. Type something in, Victor. Did you go to sleep on me, Victor? Where you at, Victor? Go to the keyboard. Go to the keyboard. Tell me what you got. You know, so how many of you understand the power of a contract? Let me ask you that. The power of a contract is like ultimate control. A mentor of mine years ago said to me, he said, Zach, let me tell you, the person who controls the paperwork controls the deal. So when you think about that, that comes down to understanding contracts, understanding contract clauses, understanding how when someone asks for one thing, how you respond to that contract to get what you want out of it. So I'm getting the countdown right now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. This is Zack Childress in the Real Estate Investing Talk Show. And if you're looking for a real estate coach, you need to get in the game because I'm your coach. And if you're just listening, I can't encourage you enough to join us on Real Estate or on Facebook on our Creative Real Estate Training Academy page. Creative Real Estate Training Academy page. You need to be on there. You need to like our page. You need to share our streams. You need to be part of what we do. It's important. We want you in the family. We want to help you guide you. We want to help coach you. We want you to be part of a bigger organization that can drive you to where you want to be. Join us. You know, be part. I mean, we're getting hundreds of people every week joining our page. You know, I think we're over 20,000 followers right now. You know, my goal is to see that thing grow to 100,000 followers, and I'd love for you guys to help me with that. How do you do that? You share our stream. You share it. That's what you do. You share it. I like to see 100,000 people watching these streams, because then we're making ripples in the water. We're making ripples in people's lives, and you can make a ripple by just sharing this stream, okay? Now, let's wrap this up with who is responsible, okay? So look, creating a contract's great. People always say, well, Zach, who creates the contract? Well, you, in essence, because why? Even if you're using an agent, the agent's going to put a contract together, but you're responsible to go through that contract, and if it doesn't have the things you want in it, then you need to add them to it, or if you're doing it yourself, you need to make sure you use one of our contracts, which has these things in there. And therefore, you're securing yourself, and you're responsible ultimately for the language in which goes in that contract. Now, here's the other thing. When people say, well, Zach, what if somebody else sends me the contract? Okay, that's great. Just stick your addendum to it. And in your addendum, which, by the way, all addendums supersede any contract, you just add your clauses to that addendum and send it over. Okay? I share that with you because it's vital that you understand that when we initiate a contract, it's our responsibility to make sure that contract is put together correctly. Even though an agent is the one who can usually put it together, we want to make sure that it has things in there that protect us. Now, moving into the next phase, let's say the seller says yes, and the seller will say yes if you put it out in the universe. The seller says yes, and we turn all that over to escrow. Now, escrow is responsible for making sure that these contracts are fulfilled by both parties. Escrow, attorneys, title companies are. They are a neutral third party with a fiduciary responsibility to represent the contract. So in your contract, if let's say you go past your inspection period and you want out, and you didn't put in there an earnest money deposit clause, and you say, well, I want out and I want my earnest money deposit back. Well, escrow looks at the contract and says, actually, no, you don't get it back, because there's nothing in this contract that says you do if you're outside your inspection contingency or contingency period. So they're responsible for that. Let's go over to leases and securities. If you're going in to close and your contract states that all leases should be presented at escrow at time of closing, and security deposit money should be presented at escrow at time of closing, and they get to close and it's not there, it's the attorney or the title company's responsibility to make sure that that contract is being fulfilled fully, okay? They have the fiduciary responsibility to be the neutral party to represent the contract, not the seller and not the buyer, but they represent the contract and what the language is that's in that contract. So we know that they're responsible for it at that point, but that does not mean that we should not check and make sure that they're doing it. I got a case example. I got a student that had this in their contract. They opened escrow, turned everything over, and when they got closed, they did not get their security checks, and they did not get copies of their leases. So, who has the error in that process? It was the title company. The title company had the error by not making sure that security checks were presented and leases were presented at time of close. There was no agents in this deal. It was a buyer and a seller and a title company. They were responsible. So their errors and omissions would be something that would have to be represented at this point. So what do? You got to go back to that title company and say, hey, look, I didn't get my leases or my security checks. Where are they at? Do you have them? Because I don't have them. And it was in our contract, and that you were supposed to collect them at time of close in escrow, right? They were supposed to be presented in escrow. So, you got to understand that even though responsibilities may fall on other people at times, at the end of the day, it's still your business, and you got to make sure you check on that stuff, okay? It's highly important that you check on it and that you make sure that you get this stuff. This is the key. Securities and leases, we got to put the clauses in that say they have to be presented at time of close before we close. So therefore, title says, hey, look, we can't close because the contract says we can't close unless leases and security checks are presented. So therefore, they are responsible. So you need to understand that. Who's responsible? You're responsible for the contract. You're responsible to review that contract. You're responsible to make sure those clauses are in that contract to protect you. But at the end of the day, when you open escrow, that responsibility does move over to them because they have a fiduciary responsibility to represent the contract. Not you, not the buyer, not the seller, the contract. So we just need to make sure that we check them and make sure that that's what they're doing, or you could get burnt at the end of the day. So just know that as you move forward. That's what I wanted to share with you today for all my Blog Talk Radio listeners. Contract Clauses 101. This is Zack Childress with Real Estate Investing Talk Show. Remember, join our page, Creative Real Estate Training Academy. Join our event, freedomfromflipping.com, or call our office at 707-247-4248 and get more information on how we can help you become a great real estate investor. And until next week, guys, I'll talk to you soon. This is Zack Childress. See you. Facebook, what else you got for me today? What else do you have for me today?
I'm going to say it's dumbfounded right now because it's a lot. If you don't understand contracts and contract law, that's a lot of information to digest.
Hey, man, that's why you come here. Let's put it together. I see Rob showed up late. See ya, Rob.
You know where he won't be late?
What?
Tomorrow. He was late for work this morning.
Was he really? He's already checked out, man. He's already sipping Mai Tais hanging out on the beach.
And he's so excited he couldn't sleep last night. He said he was up walking around and he slept in.
Well, I was up at 6:30 or 6 o'clock working out this morning. So, I didn't sleep in this morning. All right, guys. Well, listen, I want you guys to be part of what we do, be part of the journey. Remember, have fun with what you do and get registered for my event. And I will see you guys in Denver. This is Zack Childress. And I am saying sayonara. Be here tomorrow. Be here tomorrow. See ya. Love you. Be good. Go invest.